Yo, what is happening, YouTube? Sinister once again with another video. And this time today's the anniversary of the Xbox. And so that's basically what this video is all about. Because 15 years ago today, the Xbox, Microsoft decided to get into the console biz and, join the race with the PS2 and the Nintendo GameCube. And so basically, that's why, share the memories I have of the OG Xbox. And of course, feel free to comment below if your gaming memories of the Xbox, if you own one. Anyways, basically, first off, I wasn't kind of impressed of it at that time, but after a year, it started growing on me. I was like, seeing how powerful it is. It's got tons of space. You can rip your music to it and use it for certain games. I was like, oh my goodness. And the graphics were phenomenal. I mean, it beat PS2 graphics and it's like stuff like that. Even though PS2 was the top-selling console at that time of all time, but still, the Xbox was just powerful. Anyways, moving on. Up in 2002, that's when I decided, put one on layaway. Basically, and then got it out the next week because basically that was my Christmas gift. I was like, wow. And then first two games I got for it were House of the Dead 3, had a little shooter gun, and plus NBA Live 2003. Yeah, I was still playing Live back then. Live wasn't as bad as it is now, but anyways. And of course, it was cool that my brother came into town to visit, so basically we played, and it's like, hey, got competition and stuff like that. So I made it cool, and then that whole weekend, cousins started coming over, and we had just had a whole gaming fest over. Because I had all three consoles at that time, Xbox, PS2, GameCube. I was like, gaming fest, and it was just amazing. And some of my favorite games I like that used the custom soundtrack. Of course, the first one I had was Street Hoops. Had like the M1 squad and stuff like that, and had little Romeo Master P, just unlock them and stuff like that. And I was like, hear my music in the background while I was playing as I made it cool and stuff like that. And it's just, wow. And then something else is cool. The other one is ESPN NFL 2K5. I was like, man, you cannot. That game was just phenomenal. Just the presentation by itself was just so great. And plus, it was $20. I mean, you couldn't beat that. I mean, hey, at the time when Madden 2005 came, it was like $50. Like, who wants to? It's like, screw that. I mean, just getting, it was like that game just made me put down Madden for good. I mean, what's the point of playing? It's like, man, that's until EA pulled the bitch and bought the NFL license, like, because here when nobody outside competition to outsell them, so basically no competition, but yeah. But of course, moving on from that, of course, over in 2003, that's when I first got Xbox Live, and I was cool. I mean, sitting there playing online, stuff like that. First one I started off was with the Mecha Saw. Of course, I had the demo of it. Then later on, about the full game, I was sitting there just playing it online like ever since. I was like, man, didn't care for the sequel too much, but of course, it was all about the live experience and stuff like that. And I had quite a collection of Xbox games. I mean, I liked like the old Namusha on there. Of course, yeah, Castle Wolfenstein. That was the other live game I got. There's a few others just in there. Of course, I'm not gonna go over them all. So basically, this is just the evolution of the Xbox One. So up until the 360 came out, it was, the graphics improved. I mean, it was slim and all, like, and of course the online play improved even more. You had like great great multiplayer titles, like I said, Modern Warfare 2, the Battlefields and stuff like that, just so on and so forth. I mean, and now you got the Xbox One, and it just keeps going on. But I just, you gotta give hope. If it wasn't for Halo not selling, no one would never buy the Xbox. The Xbox would never been faded quick out of the business, and just like the consoles back in the 80s, stuff like that. That's all, man. I just give it its praise. But anyways, just leave your thoughts down below, like if any memories you had of the old Xbox down below. Just like, subscribe. This is Sin.